we have a lot of things going on. We're going to start with some things for young folks and older folks who are still young. And I wanted to be sure right off the bat to say that we have some help that we've received, not only from a great committee of people working to put this together and all of its elements, but also from Starlight Gallery, and that is a place where this event was originally going to be held. Unfortunately, shortly after the planning began, Plan B became Plan A, and here we are. So two groups that appear at Starlight that also have cooperated in helping us both promote and provide talent tonight is the songwriters group, Songwriters Mind, which would normally meet at the Starlight, and also the Poetorium, which meets there on the fourth Tuesday of every month. So anybody who came in before we started muting everyone, please mute your microphones now, and we will ask that unmuting take place for, we will see that unmuting takes place for people who are going to present in some way or talk in some way, and my daughter Hannah is going to take care of that. So she's our, she's in the booth. She's behind the glass. Well, we're all behind the glass, but we're going to start off, and it's going to take me to screen share again. So be patient. I will start that process. We're going to start off with a couple of children's-oriented things, and one of them, the first one, is going to be Maureen Doyle of Southbridge, and she is an activist in many things. She's also on the Conservation Commission in Southbridge, and works on some other sustainability committees in town. So we are going to get to the desktop. You can tell I've done this a lot, and we're going to run the first one as video. It's going to start, and it's all civic events should, with the Pledge of Allegiance, although this Pledge of Allegiance that Maureen will do will be just a little bit different. So roll the tape, as they say, and that should be happening shortly.
I pledge allegiance to the earth and all the life it supports, one planet, irreplaceable, with sustenance and respect for us all. Hi, I'm Maureen Doyle, wishing you a happy Earth Day. And I'd like to read Megan Morrison's Long Live Earth. She wrote it in 1993. And she says, her author note is, "Thank you for selecting this book. Thank you for caring about the future of our planet and of our children. I believe that a person's basic values and sense of right and wrong are formed in the very early years of life. Parents may need to explain the meaning of some words in the text and expand on certain parts, but if this book can provide even one child with the knowledge and encouragement needed to become involved in the preservation of our environment, then it has been worthwhile. My generation and those before it have endangered the planet, but it is up to our children and their children to save it. Children are our greatest resource. They are the hope for the future of the earth. Long live our children." Earth once spun in space, a great seething ball, long before it came home to us all. Billions of years had to pass by before the earth cooled to land, sea, and sky. Then millions more years till the first plants and trees and small living beings crawled from the seas. Dinosaurs lived here with other huge creatures before early man with his ape-like features. The earth sustained life since life first began, all plants and all creatures in union with man. The environment gave what living things needed: clean air, clean water, warmth, shelter, and feed. But parts of all nations have now been abused. Earth has been poisoned, plundered, and used. This terrible truth brings to all people shame. We cause the damage, ours is the blame. We chop down the trees that keep the air clean. The birds are left homeless, some no longer seen. Best forests are mills for buildings and papers, and fertile green land is used for skyscrapers. Exhaust fumes and vapors clothe cities in smogs. This is air thick with dirt, not a harmless gray fog. We poison Earth's bounties with chemical sprays and leave mountains of waste to pollute and decay. In places sea life can barely survive. In very bad water, there's nothing alive. Focus in on Beaches are littered and trash lies about. Some are so polluted that swimming is out. This magnificent Earth deserves far better care. We can help in its rescue if we each do our share. By joining together every age, every race, we can give back to Earth's natural balance and grace. Save precious resources, don't throw things away. So much can be salvaged for recycling each day. And remember the 3 R's of recycling. Reduce, reuse, and then recycle. Using both sides of paper to paint on or draw can save a whole tree from an axe or a saw. Think of walking or biking before using the car. Take the bus or the train if you have to go far. At the beach, pick up trash that's left lying around and let sea life remain where it's naturally found. If you can, plant a tree or a garden to suit. Be good to the soil and the seed will bear fruit. Even one small green plant will help clean the air. Indoors or outdoors, it helps everywhere. Tell mayors, prime ministers, presidents too how very important the earth is to you. No planet is like it, not Venus nor Mars. Our home has such beauty, it outshines the stars. Treat it with thoughtfulness, treasure its worth. Tend it with loving, long live the earth. Happy Earth Day.
Alrighty then. I really appreciate the effort that Maureen and Gus Steves, cameraman, put in, and that was kind of refreshing being out in the yard, like it was refreshing to be outside today. If everybody got a chance, I certainly hope so. Our next story art is going to be another member of our Grassroots group that actually did the art herself. And so that's Charlotte Burns. And I really love the style in the book that Maureen just wrote. Charlotte is going to go large with her pages and with her message. And so we can unmic you, Charlotte, or you can do it. And unmute you and turn you loose to give us a read.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Burns, and I see the woods being cut down a lot lately. I went to the Wendell State Forest, and I almost died when I saw they cut down 80 acres of 100-year-old oak trees there. And the Montague Plain looks like a massacre hit it with all the trees down, as well as the 12-mile Brook Conservation Area in Wilbraham. Now, this is happening a lot lately, and I was so upset that I went and sought out my good friend Ollie Oaktree and asked him to please show everyone at Earth Day Central just exactly how important trees are. So I'm going to introduce you to Ollie Oak Tree. There he is. He's my good friend. He's like a 100-year-old oak tree. He goes, so he says, "Hi, I'm Ollie Oak Tree. You have no idea how important trees really are. You're always cutting us down. I mean, look at that monster machine that can cut down acres in just one day." You use us to build your homes, to sneeze into, and for all things made of paper like the books you read, and to keep you warm in the winter. Look how cozy he is with that nice wood stove, but there's a price to pay. I also wanted to mention about this terrible wood plant. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay. And now you're building huge wood-burning power plants to make your electricity. Forests the world over are disappearing to feed them. This plant here burns an acre of woods every hour. Can you imagine with the hundreds of plants that are going up now, because they're really super popular now? Everybody thinks this is green energy. Can you imagine how many acres are being burnt every day? I would be surprised if every forest in the world would be gone because of these plants. And they produce 40% more carbon dioxide than a coal burning plant. And just think of all the garbage wood, like railway ties with all those awful chemicals that they throw into these things. They're poisoning our air. You say wood is good because trees grow back. But it takes years and years for us to grow big trees. It takes 50 to 100 years to grow a big old tree like me. You take us down to graze your animals and to grow your crops to eat. This is a picture of the Amazon rainforest being burned down to make room for cattle grazing land and for monoculture crops like soybeans. Did you know that the Amazon rainforest is the lungs of the world? So when we get rid of the Amazon rainforest, we're going to be in big trouble. When you do this, you turn your land into a desert, and that's exactly what's happening to the Amazon rainforest. It's turning into desert. Nothing can grow, and people starve. This is the Loess Plateau in China. But the Chinese people replanted and they restored their plateau, and now it's rich and green. So this is before and this is after. So they were really smart. In fact, that's happening all the world over. In Africa, in Colorado, all the world over, people are learning that it's much smarter to replant your deserts so that you can have food to eat, and so you can have, so that your animals have something to eat. Okay. Goes, what did they learn? That we make rain. We collect and store water and release it slowly into the air, and it comes down again as rain. See, that's why the Amazon rainforest has so much rain, because the trees actually hold the rain and then they release it into the air, into the mist, and then it just comes down gently on the forest. And that's why they're having droughts now, because they're burning them down. We help prevent soil from eroding, and we stop floods. We block the wind so the soil won't blow away. All the little plants help too. We help too. Our leaves slow the rain so soil won't wash away, and our roots hold soil in place. make shade and keep you cool, and our leaves fan the air. You ever notice how it's like 10 degrees warmer when you go into the city? That's because they don't have the shade trees to blow the air around and keep you cool. And we make your soil rich and fertile to help your plants to grow strong. See, all the leaves and the dead wood from the trees just rot, and they just make your soil nice and rich so you have healthy vegetables and fruit trees and plants. We provide food and shelter for critters, including you. You see the little deer? The deer are just seeking shelter under the hemlock tree, and the owl lives in the tree, and the squirrels, they eat the acorns and they make their nests in the tree, as do the woodpeckers and the blue herons and the raccoons. All kinds of things live in dead logs, like lizards and insects that help them to rot and create nice rich soil. We're a big part of one of nature's greatest miracles, photosynthesis. And when we suck in carbon dioxide, we help to clean the air. See all these greenhouse gases, the carbon dioxide comes out of the factories, and it makes our earth a lot warmer. So we use the carbon dioxide with water and sunshine, and we make sugar and cellulose. Cellulose is what trees are made of. They're the fiber that trees are made of, and which is how we store carbon. So the bigger the tree, the more sugar and cellulose is going to be in the tree. And so the more carbon is going to get sucked out of the air, and the cleaner our air is going to be. And we release oxygen for you to breathe in. The older we are, the more carbon we store. So see, there he is, breathing in the air from the oxygen that the tree makes. The sugar we make gives you the energy you run on. Just like a car runs on gasoline, you run on sugar. And that's what you use sugar so that you can run and jump and play and do all the things you love to do, and to be able to think and invent things and to dream. And that is what you use sugar for. It's your gasoline. So how cool is that? Energy from the sun and the water, and carbon dioxide make sugar, and sugar and oxygen from plants make energy.
Oh, clap, clap, clap. Everybody type clap, clap, clap in the chat.
Okay, I'm not done yet. So plant a tree, just like all of us did with the tulip trees. Or let the land grow back to the way it once was. Best of all, don't cut us down in the first place. We know how to take care of ourselves, and we know how to take care of you. So, because if we go, you go. So give us respect. So that is the story of Ollie Oak Tree and why trees are so, so, so important to us.
Well, you can still clap, clap, clap. You can type clap, 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 but whatever. Power to the people. That was great. You killed it. And I don't mean you killed it. You brought it to life. And by the way, the picture of the maple syrup, this morning, I thought I would treat myself to that very thing on some blueberry pancakes. And I did start thinking in context of Earth Day. In 20 years, we will be importing our maple syrup from Canada. The local and indigenous industry will be pretty much done. And so it's not a future effect. It's an effect right now. And it's too bad because buying the fresh maple syrup is a great thing. You know, the kids love it. And even though a lot of them weren't watching today, when the recording comes, get it while it's here, because it's a wonderful treasure that the trees give us. So thank you. I have something before we go into our next bit, and I want to just read a poem by Shel Silverstein, who is a favorite of many people. Younger people on this event probably could have had him read to them when they were in school, and older people may also know about him as a musician and a folkie from going way back to the beatnik days. But the late Shel Silverstein wrote a poem called Foreign Language. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. Once I understood each word the caterpillar said. Once I smiled in secret at the gossip of the starlings and shared a conversation with the housefly in my bed. Once I heard and answered all the questions of the crickets and joined the crying of each falling, dying flake of snow. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. How did it go? How did it go? That's Shel. Gave us a lot of culture. So we are going to move back to my fumbling, bumbling screen share mode, and I'm going to unleash on you a video that has to do with all the tree planting that we've done as an organization. We're going to talk a little bit about it afterwards, and we gave 100 trees away, or some are probably still in the process of being given away. Some of the folks were great enough to share their visual experiences with us, and we're going to roll it.
It's planting time.
Why is it in that chair? I think. Too bad.
I'm broadcasting live from our home in Warren, Massachusetts, and my wife, who has turned instantly into a lovely wood nymph, is about to embark upon a voyage that involves planting some beautiful trees that will enhance the landscape and will be part of a celebration of Earth Day.
Woohoo!
All right.
So, first of all, we've dug the hole. Being New England, we had to get a whole bunch of rocks out of it. I'm going to add this nice compost and topsoil to the hole now. There I go. It'll take me a little while. Here comes this lovely tulip poplar that's going to be as beautiful as ever. And we thank Nancy Tame for finding them for us. And here it goes into the ground. Have a good
Hooray!
one.
Hooray!
I'm gonna put the other dirt around it and pat it down so it is spared from the wind, and give it a little drink. Good luck, little tree. Happy Earth Day.
Done?
Okay, we're planting a poplar tree for Earth Day.
I'm here today planting my Earth Day tree. It's a tulip tree. Its botanical name is Linodendron tulipifera. It's this tall now, but it's supposed to get 60 to 90 feet tall. And it's shallow rooted when it grows. And we have to be careful of windstorms and ice and stuff. So we're gonna be careful of that. But this seems to be a great place for it. So in planting it, I'm gonna put the soil that it came in with the bag first. And then I'm going to spread out the roots so that it'll be like a radial root design, so they'll all grow evenly and it won't be lopsided. So we recently did a brush pile, so I'm going to put in some of the ash to give it some nutrients. Now this tulip tree is very interesting because it's native to Missouri and it's the state tree of 3 different states. Missouri, Tennessee,
Missouri, Kentucky, and Indiana.
oh, and Kentucky and Indiana. Not Missouri.
Not Kentucky.
Although it's native.
No, whatever. Your shadow.
That's okay. So, and when it's 60 to 90 feet tall, when it's at its full height, native people used to use it as dugout canoes. They would cut it down. And at its full height, its diameter of the tree limb is going to be 4 to 6 feet. So, and I have some water here. I'm going to water it in. Gus? Letting it soak in. And stay tuned next Earth Day to see
1. A 2. 3. 3. The large. Actually, I know it's not a larch. It sounds like a beautiful tree. It's got some buds on it already. All right, happy Earth Day.
So here we are planting our new Arbor Day plant tree. And first we're starting in a pot filled with sterilized soil. Well, basically we just heated it up in the oven, and now what we're doing is we're putting more soil on top of it, on top of the roots. We're doing it inside right now in the planter to give it a head start, and then we'll put it outside in another year or two. And sorry for the horrible videotaping, but that's what we're doing. I'm going to finish up and put the phone down. Bye.
It's planting time.
It's much further along.
It's planting time.
So there. Take that. Thank you guys. All you stars, give yourselves a hand if you planted, thought about planting, or just enjoyed it. And oh, I got my granddaughter there. Sorry. Oh well, that's wonderful. So I wanted to talk for a moment with Nancy Tame, who we will unmute, and she is the originator of this tree giveaway and the person who donated 100 trees to our planet and our communities. Thank you, Nancy. And she wanted to talk a bit about trees from her perspective as well, because she's done such a positive thing as a remedy, and she just wanted to put it in context, which I think is a wonderful thing.
So anyway, I wanted to say happy Earth Day. And it's been 50 years since the first Earth Day celebration, and that led to the formation of the EPA, of course, and that was supposed to protect our air and our water. However, right now it's not working out quite that way. It's pretty much owned by fossil fuel interest right now, but it was a good idea, and all that protesting and Earth Day celebration led to a good thing. However, we're still falling in, I'm a little bit of a downer, I'm sorry. We're still falling into the sixth extinction, and trees are falling pretty fast. And as Charlotte's beautiful book said, you know, we really need the trees. And if we don't have the trees, we aren't going to be around long. And we've lost so many trees, beginning with, you know, Europeans moving, and we lost Dutch elm, and that took 60 million of our trees in this area. And then in the early 20th century, 3 to 4 billion with a B, American chestnuts died from a bark fungus. And right now, the eastern hemlock is under attack by something called a a woolly adelgid, which is like a small furry little aphid. So, and of course you have climate change that's killing a lot of trees, excuse me, annually. In our urban cities, 36 million trees die annually. California has an estimated 149 million standing dead trees, according to a U.S. Forest Service 2018 aerial survey. And this death rate is the result of drought and high temperatures. Ponderosa pine, Douglas fir, quaking aspen, they're all dying, and the bark beetle isn't helping the situation. When a tree is stressed, it can't fight off insects like the bark beetle. And California has both native and invasive bark beetles. So the situation across the world isn't any better. It's pretty dire. And again, Charlotte's pictures, beautiful pictures, talked about the Amazon, where 15 to 17% of the Amazon rainforest has been lost, has been burnt. And when it reaches 25%, there won't be enough moisture sequestered by the forest to maintain the rest of the forest. And as Charlotte said, these are our lungs. The Amazon is our lungs. And the farmers have burned the canopy, and they are already feeling this drought. And rivers have run dry in the Amazon, which is a bit unheard of, but yes, it's happening. So this is really critical that we plant trees, that we protect trees. And I really loved all of those videos of people planting those trees. It was awesome. And I actually have more trees, and some of the other people in the group may still have some that we haven't given away. So if anybody knows anyone, or if they would like more themselves, just email me and I'll make sure that you get them. nmtame@gmail.com, and I think that's also on the website.
Right.
So thank you so much, everyone, for planting those trees, because I think it's just wonderful. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it was like almost snowing the day you came over with trees, and today it was like summer, and you know, the trees are shrugging if they had shoulders, they would shrug them. They don't quite know what's going on. They do have mouths, though. I saw that in Charlotte's thing. You know, you ever go in the woods and you see those woodpecker holes, and it looks like the tree's going, oh no. Anyway, you know, there's a program I wanted to talk about that I'm going to help a little bit with. The Opakam Land Trust, which is based in the Brimfield, Southbridge, Sturbridge general vicinity, has an urban tree planting grant. And it's been set back only a couple of months because of the virus. It's actually going to start hands-on, going into the ground in Southbridge this coming week. I'm going to help because I'm an intern, and I'm not an authorized spokesman. But I just want to let people know, if you have a property in Southbridge, they will be giving away sapling-sized trees and trying to get the urban air quality, and it is urban compared to most of our towns. It's a kind of a junior version of a grant program that the towns like Lowell and Holyoke and the other so-called gateway towns have, where renters and owners that live in alike can improve, not only improve their air quality, but just improve the vibes around their lives. And so Opakam Land Trust is, I believe it's opakam.org. I'm involved with trying to put out the material to get those folks. We haven't put the material out yet, so it may be jumping the gun. If anybody wants to even just email me, bobdatz, D-A-T-Z, @gmail.com. If you're an owner in Southbridge or Ware, the two land trusts, so Peckham and East Quabbin, are both working on this, and I can't wait to get out of the classroom and get some callus on my hands, but I'm also going to be shooting videos, so it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be great. And if we get some areas, large properties or streets where a lot of owners get them, it's going to make a big difference. There's going to be air quality monitoring before and after, and we'll be able to demonstrate the tangible benefits that way. So just wanted to let you know about that. And thank you, Nancy. That was just excellent. She hustled so much to get those out, and a lot of people are going to benefit. So, and if you're still interested in a tree, as Nancy said, there is a page on the website. You go to the grassrootscentralmass.com, not the .org. That's an old abandoned site. And you'll see the Earth Day link. Click on that, and within that copy, there's a link to learn more about the seedlings that we still probably have some left to give away. So thanks, and thanks to all our Academy Award-winning actors and actresses. Okay, we are running just a little bit ahead of schedule. I wanted to say something in reference to what Nancy said also concerning 1970 and what we may or may not have learned. Something that I call the John Kerry approach is to say, we didn't know, and now John Kerry is a big climate change advocate all of a sudden. And I would just point out that we did. And if there are younger people who, listen to older people say, we didn't know, we did. We didn't exactly know the symptoms. We didn't exactly know the processes. So to quote Neil Young, from after the gold rush, 1970, look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. I think we can reframe that. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 21st century. And any of you guitarists, I've printed out the chords, and I'd love to see that song performed more in the area and around. So we're going to move on. We're, as I say, a little bit ahead on our schedule. So any presenters that are on board should know that. I think we're talking like 15 minutes at this point. So I'm not sure if Dimitri is on the call or not. We have had difficulty getting transmitted some videos that he's done, a visual art presentation, and the text says, my desktop is so slow it will never play. It's not where it's supposed to be, unfortunately. But he shared via Facebook, which I cannot go and get right now. So I think we're going to have to rejigger the program. And I'm hoping, and I can't go through everybody and see, if our poetry portion was going to start at 7, so that's a good 45 minutes. And I don't know if our poets got here that far ahead, although we told people to get here ahead. What I will do is see if I can get hold of this video, and I have actually a brief YouTube that's kind of an interesting project. It has to do with coral, and as many of you know, coral are largely going extinct, but they have a fighting chance in certain locations. This has to do with the rising temperatures of the ocean. So if I have this in my screen share, which I left it there, and I certainly hope I do, I will share it with you. It's a project that happens to be something that a friend of mine has done, and I need to get all these messages off there from various people who are trying to get a hold of me or have. and then we will watch it. And it's artistic, and it's
In the last
ecological.
30 years, we've lost half of our coral reefs from climate change, pollution, and overfishing. We are on a mission to inspire and empower communities through art and science to restore these vital resources and alleviate the pressures that are destroying them. We design large-scale sculptures inspired by stories and themes passed down from elders in the community. These sculptures are deployed into the ocean for coral to grow on. They become living, ever-expanding gardens that people can visit and plant coral into. We use art as a way to bring people together and show people the importance of coral reefs. Land-based coral farming is a way to grow diverse and resilient coral species. These farms are run by members of the local community. We are also working to establish community recycling banks, education programs, as well as empowering fishermen to become marine farmers. These combined efforts lay the foundation for lasting, sustainable change. We are a movement built on creativity, collaboration, and community.
Okay. Stop sharing. Will ya? All right. So we're going to try to get the other information, and I think what I'm going to suggest is we take a 10-minute stretch. So let's say 10 or 15, and we'll pick it up, make up a little of the time that way, and we will get the visual presentation, the visual artist, Jen Beauvoir, and try to be back. So I'm going to say 6:35. All right. So we'll go into suspension if you don't mind, and try to get our stuff imported that we need. Thank you. That was an excellent body of work, and one of the things maybe that we have time to do is take in more of the arts online while we're doing what we're doing tonight, only in some in-depth ways. That was great. So moving forward, I want to plug the Poetorium again. If I'm wrong, one of the poets will tell me it's either the 4th Tuesday or the last Tuesday in the case of a 5-Tuesday month. It's on the website, which I should have had. It's poetorium.something, and it happens in Southbridge, so it's easily Googleable. And there's all kinds of folks on this. Now, I would like to verify that as I flip through, Sarah is on. Her picture is not showing, and her mic is muted, but that's all going to change right now. So I would like to introduce the first of our poets. There are poetry readings in Northern Connecticut near here as well, and Sarah St. George has straddled both sides of the line. She's a poet, visual artist, turning up the volume on the quiet corner of Connecticut. She is the host of Coffee, Tea, and Poetry, a monthly open mic that meets in Putnam, Connecticut. When not writing or performing on stage, she can be found playing with her children, doodling, or walking around town with her sloth puppet. Sarah is welcome, and hopefully we're all set to go with her on mic. So take us away and tell us what you're doing for us.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Bob. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Happy belated Earth Day. It should be Earth Day every day, really. So I'm going to start you guys off tonight with a piece that I wrote yesterday for this event, and I'm going to warn you, it offers a very realistic, current, unsugar-coated perspective. And when Bob and I were talking, we discovered that we have a mutual love of Tom Waits. So this poem does have a Tom Waits reference in it. So hopefully Bob will catch that. So here's my first poem for you. It might start out a little dark, but it doesn't stay that way. Earth Day came and went this year, and I didn't pick up a single piece of trash, water a flower, or even step outside and feel the sunlight kiss my skin. Too busy feeling the weight of my own world crumbling to show appreciation for Mother Earth, the magnitude of an ugly divorce, death of a dear friend, pandemic hysteria in place of spring vacation plans. While everyone is blasting what a wonderful world, I am in more of an Earth died screaming kind of mood. Gratitude eclipsed by the shadow of grief cast over my heart, motivation replaced by morbid ideation, enthusiasm converted to euthanasia. Only fools sport rose-colored glasses. Wise men see truth in broken bottles and murky ponds. No room for hopes and dreams in a world where mass graves fill, but hearts and stomachs remain empty. Time to trade in thoughts and prayers for a shovel and gun. I am tempted to give up, hibernate until hardened hearts lose their grace and patience. The four seasons unveil themselves as the horsemen of the apocalypse, a tapestry of melting angels, withering roses, boiling rivers, dying leaves. Burrow into my wounds and embrace pain, since it's the only thing that's real. No planet worth saving here, just a lonely rock polluted by narcissists and greed, 93 million miles away from its mother star. Might as well kick back and watch it burn. Then I see my children's faces, a binary system casting light upon the sorrowful soil that is me, softening my heart while making my head ache. How lucky I am to have two suns brightening my sky. This world is far from paradise, but the place that love calls home can't be all that bad. I give them both a hug and then dust off a fake plant, open the window and let the storm clouds in. All right, so that's the end of my first piece. That probably wasn't exactly what you guys had in mind for this. It looks up. The rest of them are a little bit more cheerful. I thought I would give a realistic poem. So next I have for you a poem about the ocean. My next few poems talk about my journey through different landscapes and the most beautiful features of Earth, and I think they sort of show a reverence for Earth through talking about my own adventures. I set foot into the ocean for the first time today. After a year of heartache and self-injury, a year being addicted to failure and misery, a year I thought I wouldn't survive, the cold water never felt so good on my skin. The sensation of 30 years of polluted streams ebbing away under my feet, each grain of sand in between my toes, a small victory. It feels so good to finally be able to see the beauty of the world once again. In the distance, lighthouses and broken shells that cut my ankles. I set foot into the ocean for the first time today, a victim of drowning, a Titanic survivor. All right, and the next poem I have for you guys is a mountain poem. Up the mountain, each step a lifetime, a victory, reminder of the body's limitations, strange pleasure taken in buckling knees, shortness of breath. You begin to think you're a masochist, not an adventurer, a single-minded automaton on a life-saving suicide mission, no goal but to reach the peak, but of which unobtainable height? Your sorrows, the pebbles under your feet as you rise, nothing to look back upon but your own misguided footsteps, graffitiing the dying world. At the summit, lifetimes of hard work rewarded by fleeting glimpses of beauty, closer to heaven yet never so far away. The wind coerces your own hair to whip you. The only epiphany is there is no epiphany. Slow knives in the heart. No clarity but miles and miles of fog. So overwhelmed with joy you could jump. Flightless birds mock your timid wings. Coming down. Knees give out only slightly faster than spirit. 1,000 lifetimes to the bottom. Endurance is for the weak. You begin to feel homesick, not for the apartment you share with neglected art projects and dirty dishes, but for the sandcastle you never had the courage to build, the safe, warm arms that felt like home at first embrace. You miss the sensation of nibbling on thighs as assassin branches conspire to assimilate your secrets into the mountain's ecosystem. Gift your ruins to her crumbling shoulder, your blood to her dried up river, waiting to lap up the oceans you keep levied inside. No tears left to offer, only stones and deer ticks. A dried out well, the pebbles under your feet cut into the bottoms of your shoes, further wounding the soles. You finally arrive at your car, even more tired and defeated. Begin the long trek home, back to mountains of dirty clothes, forever unreachable, the majesty of your mystery, the summit of your love. All right, and I have two poems left for you guys tonight. So this one's about, this one's a spring poem. Give me spring, juniper and nettles, cricket serenade and hummingbird hymnals, raven claws and four-leaf clovers, the lion's roar and lamb's wool. Give me the thick skin of stone and tears of a weeping willow, the determination of a foolish moth, wisdom of the owl, fox slyness, fawn coyness. I want to get tangled in serpent coils while choking on the seeds of your forbidden fruit. Give me jaded moonlight and sun-kissed mornings, dewdrops and misty foggy veils, rumbles of thunder, soft whispers. Give me rusty nails and promises of salvation, the breadcrumbs from our last supper, all of the spoiled fruit in our garden. I want to eat a ripe version of my own heart, rise from the ashes of all of my sacrifices, use the wood from the crosses I carry to build a bigger, stronger house. Give me spring, warm showers and mud puddles, the humility of a tiger lily and vanity of a rose. Grant me the strength and inspiration to survive another season, the bonfire cackles and sensual smarks. All right, so I have one last poem for you guys tonight, and this poem sort of highlights the beauty and warmth of all four seasons. A broken heart is not a useless artifact that should be discarded or disgraced. The pieces can be glued back together into a vibrant mosaic. A dancing leaf from September here, a burned out prayer from summer there, December's bonfire, and April's melting snow angel weave a rich tapestry of salvation and seasons, each fragment a new beginning. The first stone laid down in the sanctuary's foundation, or the first seed planted in the restoration of Eden. So many rich memories to scatter of warm faces and sacred places, enough love to share with all of the world. Okay, guys, so that's all of the poems that I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I host a poetry reading in Putnam, Connecticut at Victoria Station Cafe. It meets the second Wednesday of every month from 7 to 9 p.m. And obviously we're on a bit of a hiatus right now. We do meet on Zoom, so please message me if you're interested in connecting with us. And hopefully when the world reopens, we'll be back at Victoria Station. I apologize if some of my poems were a little bit on the dark side, but I thought I would offer a realistic approach to this, because life isn't always sunny and happy, but if we stand by each other, then I think things tend to turn out a lot better when we take care of each other and we take care of the world. So stay awesome, everyone. Keep taking care of the planet, and hope everyone has a great night. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for honoring us. That was great.
Thank you.
The next poet, is my friend Karen Warinsky, a former reporter who currently teaches high school English in Massachusetts, lives over the border in Connecticut also, so we don't build the wall here in Massachusetts. Many of her published poems examine nature in interesting ways, like when it's right behind her, and her most recent poems, we're going to get a little tour. Breaking the Firmament and Thoreau's Window came out in the 2019 Mizmor anthology, and spoken word will be published in Deep Wild Journal this summer. Her first poetry collection, Gold in Autumn, is being published by Human Error Publishing and is set to come out later this year. So welcome to the big screen.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your evening, and I feel very, happy to be part of this. Like Sarah, Earth Day, the real Earth Day, got by me this year, so my focus was on tonight. I have a mix of things. I have, I think, hopeful poetry, and then I have some realistic stuff. So bear with me. There are 8 pieces. Most of them are short, and I'm going to start with a poem I really like. It's called Arrival. Push, push, pushing, pulsing, up and through and on into April. It is spring, the long-awaited one, pinned with hopes and dreams on wet, desolate February days, cried for on dark, friendless nights, when television and family offer no comfort. Herald of better times, better food, better moods. Bringer of jeweled colors and infinite green, provider of second chances, clean closets, lighter clothes. She is busting through in chubby blossoms of pink, lavender, and gold, sprays of renewal shooting out of twigs. Tender budding branches lift up and then sigh down to the earth, slender arms of joy. Trees like elegant bridal bouquets explode on the hill, silhouettes of beauty, pro-offered by their mother's hand, rising out of the green cuffs of her grassy gown. Showers of forsythia, neon, and unworldly spike out along the road, jolting the senses into noticing this change, this season of birth and rebirth, this lady of hope. And the next piece was published in 2018 in a magazine called Blue Heron, and it's called Lawn Chair. Life from a lawn chair can be lived in full. Listen, birds are speaking. They don't mind if you try to crack the code. Sun and cloud pass overhead. Acknowledge them from your lowly prone position, or not, for they are moving on no matter what you do. Rest, rest. Let the cats come circle the chair, lie beside you. Feel all the bits of rebirth poking through the crunched detritus of winter. Green babies forcing life back into all. Buds, shoots, stalks. See parachute puffs of seeds drift toward tender spots to land and grow. They fly all around you in your chair, and you fly too. Race to other times, other places, other springs, when the humid warmth, the breeze, the deep scent of fields filled your senses, and you lived as spring, running free, shoes off, hair wild behind you, living as sky, as earth, as wind. And I need a sip. This is a new one that I wrote a couple weeks ago, and it's called Arms Around Mother Nature. We are trying to comfort her, this mother of ours, whose cries are now audible to all. Even the most callous of souls can hear, can see. Scout troops pick up trash each spring, and enterprising lads make bracelets out of the plastic they plucked from the ocean. The profits creating equipment and jobs to take away the thousands of pounds of our modern conveniences thoughtlessly tossed into her blue-green waters. The well-intentioned push to go strawless, recycle everything, consolidate trips in the car, walk more, need less. She is burning. She is flooding. She is quaking. She is choking on our dross. We must tell her we care. We must lie on her soft grass, hands out, and say, "We love you. We are sorry. Please forgive us." And this next one is also a little more serious, and it's called All the Useless Things. Tire treads and snow boots leave Art Deco patterns in the mud and moosh. Lip balm hides in containers resembling fruit. Crayons smell like food, yet we cannot feed everyone, though we know how to grow, how to store. Singing fish and dancing Santa dolls fill department store shelves, cheap entertainment for the price of the plastic and the batteries. Trinkets cram the aisles, 1,000 things to amuse and beautify. Fluorescent funny keychains, glittery nail polish, glow sticks, oversized mugs, undersized shirts, and yes, I bought them, gave them to friends, and laughed. Though I knew the dye went into the water, and the polyoxymethylene and the acetone and the phenol degrade slowly, and the workers in China have it bad. Worse than I did that summer at the toy factory, when the boss told me I couldn't lean against a barrel to relieve my back, while his girlfriend sat in a chair, both of us tying knots into red and white striped ropes, tossing them into barrels. I still don't know what the ropes were for. I was educated that summer of '74, standing all day on the cement floor for my $3.15 hourly wage, and so yes, I know something about the global economy and useless things. And this is one that was published last winter, 2019, in the Ms. Moore anthology, and it's called Breaking the Firmament. I am not the one who wants to send more junk into outer space, a fake moon that would be brighter than the original, or set up more 5G towers to microwave messages and who knows what else to ourselves, or play music on the HAARP harp, sending vibrations around the country, messing with nature. I am not the one dropping chemicals from planes, dripping with the prestige of Harvard scientists, nor an engineer from CERN who wants to collide those atoms and mash and smash those protons into other protons, trying to outdo Shiva. I do not want to break the firmament. I only long to lie under it on a warm summer night, proximal to a good bottle of wine, as you, my finally found love, tangle your leg with mine. And this next one is coming out this summer in, as Bob mentioned, the Deep Wild Journal. And I wrote it for my girlfriend Wendy, and it references a hike that I took when I lived out in the Northwest, and it's called Spoken Word. Two young single girls on a Saturday, your old station wagon named George, your black lab named Blue, we were feeling good and free as we set out toward Issaquah to get out of the city, out of our 9-to-5, and into an adventure. It is years ago now. I remember I didn't have hiking boots, just my old college snow boots, scuffed faux leather with red laces and spongy soles, and it was fall, cloudy and dramatic like it is on the Northwest. Hiking deep into the trees off of an old logging road, we came out on a ledge, sat to eat our sandwiches, and my 35 millimeter rolled to the bottom of the ravine, but Smart Blue went down and got the thing. After lunch, we hiked a little higher, and there was a moment where we both stopped short because we heard it at the same time. Not a voice, not a sound, but a thought coming from a fir tree. And you grinned at me because trees always spoke to you, but it was my first time. And this is a newer one too, and it's called Messages. The presence sends its message. Trees speak, breezes blow, animals lock eyes, and we acknowledge one another in this shared world. Once, a buck walked out of a ditch. We both gazed appreciatively, and then he went on across the field. Deer sense me at the window, look up with caution, and slowly graze away. And the neighborhood eagle sometimes flies above my head, perches in a tree, ignores me, as I marvel at his perfection and say, "Hello, my eagle." Last year, a bobcat sauntered across a field, turned to face me when I stopped the car to look. We appraised each other, then moved on. A heron flew past my kayak, landed just feet away, and I paddled slow, regarding his lavender blueness, his yellow eye. And the winter squirrel became our neighbor, thankful for peanuts and company. messages sent through nature and her creatures from the grand force behind it all. And because I like to end on a positive note, this is a poem of mine and it's called Sunflower, because I think there is hope. We must feel there's hope. We must be the hope. Sunflower. I want a sunflower, big, filling both hands, heavy-headed, dusting me with pollen and blooming dreams, big enough to fill senses, block discouragement, yellow petal blades, and sienna earth eye the only thing in view. A platter of beauty serving up hope, prosperity, happiness, impressions of love. I want a sunflower, demanding in its existence, a startling presence in the room, laying face up, too large for a vase, claiming the table's center for its home, a county fair blue ribbon winner, statement of glory, speaking only of the possible. I want a sunflower.
Yay.
Thanks.
Thank you. That was good. And I think Karen is a poet to be seen and heard. And I love it. So, brought me to Poetorium, where I reunited with Paul, who runs it, and ran into some really nice, supportive people. And among them is our next poet, Robert Eugene Perry. So finally, a member, a native of the Bay State, and he has 2 novels published, self-published, and 2 collections of poetry. I hope I've consolidated the list correctly. A self-styled metaphysical poet, he draws inspiration from nature and endeavors to draw connections between our higher selves and the natural world. He has 2 published novels that incorporate poetry with prose, and poetry collections are titled The Sacred Dance, Poetry to Nourish the Spirit in 2008, and published in 2011 was If Only I Were a Mystic, This Would All Come So Easy. So 2 of Robert's poems have been accepted for Poetica Magazine's upcoming 2020 Mizmor anthology regarding spirituality and nature. His poem Quest was the January 2019 Poets of Mars winner. Trying to horn in on Earth's Day here. So I welcome you to our planet and to our event. Thanks.
It's great to be here. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks for putting this together, Bob. Thanks, Karen and Sarah. It's great to go after you. So this, the first one I want to read is it's actually where it all began for me. This is a story of where I began to find poetry in nature. It's called A Seed Which Changes Everything. When I was young, I went on an adventure in the woods behind my home. The memory of it is surreal and dreamlike. The familiar woods transformed into another realm. Walking through the forest along the well-worn path, something urged me into a grove of sumacs. Pushing through, I came to a small clearing full of light. I've spent years trying to recall exactly what happened, have dreamed of this place, and can still see it vividly. Returning to the area, I have found the sumacs, but not the clearing. Something otherworldly and inexplicable occurred. I have never been the same. Some days I wish I could remember the event, but I have a suspicion that it retains its power because of the mystery it represents. Creator sometimes acts like a secret agent, infiltrating the ordinary to plant a sacred seed which changes everything. Bird dance. 8 small birds swooped and spun as one over the still pond, catching bugs in a perfectly synchronized spiral dance. Incantation. Ocean, mountain, flowered field, river, canyon, forest, wheeled, wonder under nature's spell, life abounds and all is well. Desert, fen, and frozen waste, quicksand, mudslide, lifeless place, jungles dark and caverns cold, let all nature's truth be told. There is no light, but there be dark, no scrap of death life does not spark, no truth without a hidden clause, no perfect world without its flaws. Paradox reveals the true, hidden from the common view, woven into space and time, made manifest by simple rhyme. On some days, I only want to lay down upon the cool grass and let my fevered body melt into the embrace of the earth. Blessed forgetfulness, my bones to stones, blood to water, skin become loam, my organs deposits of precious minerals. From dust I have come, and to dust I will return, so may it be for the good of all. But I am in no hurry. As long as wind remains in this temple, so shall I strive for higher things. And I am not alone, ever. Feelings are not facts, they are ephemeral. Beneath the surface lies the real. This is a more recent one, petrichor. That is the smell when rain falls upon dry earth. In this dry season, lightning flashes without rain, earth cracks and splits wide open, entreating the skies for a modicum of moisture. Yearning for rehydration, memory surfaces. Surfeit of water, rippled like scales of a silver fish, undulating with the breeze, cool mist on warm skin. Parched lips form a rough prayer. Eyes lifted up, the old one beats the drum. Feathered bright, donned in turquoise, now the dance begun, now the rain will come. I wrote this a couple years ago when I moved into a quiet neighborhood from Main Street, where it wasn't quiet, where there was a lot of noise. Early morning rhapsody. 7 crows slide by a pale sliver of moon, cawing raucously, awake to the day's possibilities. Songbird on the pole births a rhapsody pure and joyous. If you listen carefully, it sounds like laughter. A zephyr wends its way through the neighborhood trees. Bells chime, leaves swish, another melodious morning. Snowdrifts.
Upstairs.
Going to be in the, somebody's not muted.
Yes, if somebody could mute who's not presenting, thank you.
This is going to be in the upcoming Ms. Moore Poetica anthology. Snowdrifts. Snowdrifts across the frozen lake. Thoughts shift forward and back, remembering, hoping, dreaming. The sun pops out a moment, slips back under cover. Wind sighs through the boughs. Carry on, like a mantra, it moves me. The rhythm of my breath, a song gently lilting under heavy skies. Bright sun reflected on cold ice, a golden path to the open water. What lies beneath the frozen crust, circling in the icy depths? Life continues unabated, despite empty appearances. A single goose calls in the distance, no answer but its echo. January rules supreme, its frigid fingers grip the day. Yet somehow hope is born in me, despite the outward gloom. From some secluded room, it has found a way. A number of years ago, I belonged to a sacred circle of men. We would drum and share some deep stuff. Sacred circle. Set apart and sanctified, this other world with all its primal flavor and colorings and reminders of who we really are beneath the surface. Naked in spirit, we return to this first world to feed our hunger for truth and slake our thirst for silence from the wellspring of our ritual. In the sanctuary of the circle, we lay bare our secret hearts, and underneath those insecurities, unfamiliar to that second world, the world of illusion by which we know so little and are so little known, we descend into the realm of our original selves. The rhythm we engender replicates the earth's own heartbeat. Our inherent separation melts away as we partake in the great mystery of creation. This has always been one of my personal favorites, The God Who Hides. The natives looked for lessons under every leaf and rock. They knew you were a God who liked to hide. We build cathedrals, paint them immaculate, and fill them with statues, icons, and other accoutrements, effectively hiding God. I went for a walk and sat by a brook, and that is where I heard you laughing. That's the closest to Rumi and Hafiz that I've ever come. A lesson from the elements. Earth. Rich, pungent smell of old life decayed, the soil brings forth the naked truth, memories of what once was displayed in earthen form, raw and uncouth. All life will pass in likewise way, discarding the old in favor of youth. Gaia embraces the funeral display, takes the shell while the soul departs. Hemera burns bright another day. Here ends earth where water starts. Water, drip, drop, drop, drip. Deluge brought up the sunken ship, up from the depths of deepest dark. Into the light the shadow slips, the broken hull sullen and stark, waterlogged and rife with rot. Drop, drip, drip, drop. Air. Wind echoes in the cavern, stirring up dust, the same dust we are made of. I breathe in the atmosphere, consciously integrating this simple truth. Life is sacred. The spirit given to us bears this witness. Fire. Cleansing, purging, warming, lighting, untamed raw, a little frightening, dancing, burning, raging, flaring, under stars our secret sharing, scorching, molding, charring, healing, thank Prometheus for stealing. Void. Between the emptiness and the form, behind the obvious of the norm, lies the no thing. And I want to close with evergreen. I love trees. I've always loved trees ever since I was really little. I was very fortunate to grow up with 50 acres behind me where I lived, and so I was always in the woods. But I have a special affinity for evergreens, just because they're always, they're always green. So anyways, this is called evergreen. Even when death is all around, even when truth cannot be found, when all life is underground, evergreen, evergreen. Clearer than a mountain stream, lovelier than a lover's dream, straight and tall, wild and clean, come with me, evergreen. Other trees, our fellows true, bloom in every shape and hue, all equal in Creator's view. We are one, evergreen. When the leaves have all gone brown, pine cones rotting all around, a sprig of green comes from the ground. Nothing dies, evergreen. Thank you all. This has been awesome. Save the earth.
I'm unmuting to say my appreciation. That's very great. Thank you. And
Thanks, Bob. I really
man,
appreciate you putting this together.
Prolific and always a pleasure. And it's got to be harder. The musicians know this, I'm sure, to do the online stuff. For poets, just as much. I mean, we can't do this, right?
Well, I'm looking at me, so like I don't know if people are liking it. You know what I mean?
I know.
So really, it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And it is about spirit. We'll have a recording, and it will go out into the realm.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So great. Thanks again.
All right.
All right. So now I guess it's time to strike up the band, and so. Okay. We're going to take it to the next level. and let the Saturday night out in the town begin. So this is where, and I think Dimitri's on. I thought Starlight was on, and yes. And anyway, I just want to emphasize that that was the hub that brought many of our players together. Reaching out to some others, it just reinforces the idea that all you got to do is ask, and you don't die if you don't get a yes. And that's the secret to organizing. It's the secret to changing and doing things, where the shy can be out there and take the shot and do it. So we did that to gather some great talent, and our first musician is a member of our committee that put this event together, and that is Julia Matteo. She is a singer-songwriter right here in scenic West Brookfield, Massachusetts. She adores dancing and creating a sense of love and commonality through music, and she ended her intro with an exclamation point, which she always ends with, at least one, and it's always a pick-me-up. So go for it.
I just want to say special thanks to everybody who's here being a part of this, and Bob for kind of pulling everything together. We were all working together, but you kind of pulled everything together to make it happen, which was really nice. And the poetry was really good, beautiful. So I'm going to play a few covers. I have a parrot in my room. She's quiet right now, but if she starts to be loud, I'm going to have to take her out of her cage, just so you guys know. So yeah, I'm going to play some covers. I was going to play some of my own things, but I'm not very good at I'm good with coming up with songs, but not writing solid music. And again, I like creating commonality with music because I know that most people know these songs, so it'll be nice if you guys can kind of, jam to them because you know them. So yeah, for the first one, I have to look at the chords, so.
That's a
Bear
muted
with me here. All right. Let's get this. Dreams really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Where trouble melts like raindrops, high above the chimney tops. That's where, so fly near me. You'll find me somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dream that you did too. Why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star, behind. Where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you did too, why, oh, why can't I? Thank you, everybody. Now I'm gonna play some songs that I know how to play by heart. Yeah, I like to uplift the spirits, like Bob said, with the exclamation points. I use a lot of those and capital letters when I'm typing because I like to be expressive. I hope you all feel it. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I say, would it be a sin? 'Cause I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things meant to be. So take my hand, take my whole life too. 'Cause I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things meant to be. So take my hand, take my whole life too. 'Cause I can't help falling in love with you. 'Cause I can't help falling in love with you. One more. 'Cause I can't help falling in love with you. Thank you, everybody. It's so weird. I kind of like can hear like people clapping in my head, but I'm like, I don't hear anything. Okay, I'm gonna play some Fleetwood Mac songs for the last ones that everybody also knows. Now
here you go again, you say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. Listen carefully to the sound. Dreams of loneliness like a heartbeat tries to melt. In the stillness of remembering what you had, what you lost, what you had, what you lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. Now here I go again to see your crystal vision. I keep my visions to myself. It's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams and have you when the dreams you like to sell. Dreams of loneliness like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had, what you lost, what you had, what you lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You will know. You will know. Oh, you know. Thank you, everybody. All right, I have one more. Another Fleetwood Mac song. Took my love and took it down. Thank you to everybody who's commenting things. I see them. Climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, where the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can a child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle seasons of my life? Will I be afraid of changing? 'Cause I built my life time makes you bolder. Children get older. I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you older. Children get older. I'm getting older too. So took my love and took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, and the landslide brought me down, down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, thank you, everybody. So glad to be a part of this, and thank you all for being here. I'm glad that we can all come together because we love the earth and she gives us everything that we need.
Thank you, Julie. And yeah, there's been some activity over on the right side there, and you did a great job with dealing with the nature that was flying around your room, and so it's all part of the show, and that's the spirit. So we're gonna go next to our next player, which is Lisa Lawrence, who's on our call, on our conference right now. She's a songwriter and singer-songwriter, performs throughout the Northeast as a solo. Hello? And is also with the band The Lost Royals. She's an avid gardener and works to preserve historic bearded irises.
I do. I love to garden from like morning to night.
What is a bearded iris?
It's the also the Iris germanica. So German irises. You'll see them in about a month. Just a really pretty, a lot of times the purple fragrant irises.
Okay.
And I'll post them all over my Facebook posts because I have like 100 different varieties and some that aren't commercially sold in the country anymore. And so we have a good climate for them. We don't flood, and a lot of the Midwest places flooded that were preserving them. And California had the droughts that were preserving them. So I keep them in my house, and now I'm part of the Preservation Society.
So is the need to preserve them a fairly recent thing, given like changes in the area?
Kind of like there's a new push to preserve. Like I don't know if you've noticed that a lot of people are trying to restore historic gardens. So an example is the Harriet Beecher Stowe house. Just restored the garden a couple years ago. And so people look for the old plants because a lot of times the maps of the plants were left. So they would want maybe some random iris that was grown 100 years ago or 200 years ago. And so they'll look out for people who grow them, and they've been keeping databases of the irises. So, and a lot of them, there's only like a couple left in the country, and then you can't get them from Europe because you can't ship plants over. So anyway, yeah, I guess so.
Well, we've had a pretty nice artistic and scientific fusion today, and you're continuing that.
So yeah, all right, I'll play a couple songs, and then yeah, I have a Facebook, Lisa Lawrence Susanna, so I'll be putting up all my plants like really soon. I preserve irises, I grow lilacs and roses. So.
from the sky every day, but you don't see them. Good love goes bad every day, but your heart will mend. Oh, how I love you. No one above you, but you are bend in love. Let me save you. Let me save you. You once believed we could do anything. We'd rule the world in velvet suits. Oh, my dear sweet king. And then you failed. It hurt like hell, but I'm still standing tall. Let me save you. Let me save you. Oh, what about that night I fell into your light? Oh, if only you stayed, and we would wait by the light of day. Stars fall from the sky every day, but you don't see them. Good love goes bad every day, but your heart will mend. And when you stray, you lose your way. I'll save you. Let me save you. Let me save you. Oh, let me save you. Let me save you. Oh, let me save you. Let me save. Let me save. Let me save. Let me save you.
So this is called Seven O's. And I used to live in Sunderland, Mass, which is a really beautiful place if you've ever been there. And so that's where I first started playing out music a million years ago. So this is just a song about a place I used to play at. Across the street from my folk show is a bar called 7 O's. Sign on the door says, "Hunters welcome." Despite the stairs I stumble in. Sit down next to an old farmer who tells me his wife left him alone with his dog in a trailer. Not hitting on you, but can I buy you a shot life insurance, kid? Give it all you got, and everybody's gotta be from somewhere, and no place is better or worse than here. And this is our time, and this is our place, and we're here to make the best of it. really needs the American dream. You can dance all night in acid wash dreams. Might get up and sing some harmony out. This place has never been, feels like home to me. There's a man on the stage with his beer in his left hand, shot in his right, singing AC/DC covers with all this mighty. Tells me music these days is just about a love the wits. You're not one of those folk singers who's full of it. Everybody's gotta be from somewhere, and no place is better or worse than here. And this is our time, and this is our place, and we're here to make the best of it. Getting dancing night away, not thinking about these bills we gotta pay. We work so hard, now's our chance to play now. Think about our lives ended up this way. This place is nice, I like to stay. Sing. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. I go outside, I wipe the snow off my car. Don't know, I like smelling like some smoky bar. And everybody's gotta be from somewhere, and no place is better or worse than here. And this is our time, and this is our place, and we're here to make the best of it. Thank you. Thanks. So I'm going to do, I think, one more for you. And thank you so much for putting this together, Bob and Hannah and Julie. This is so awesome. It's been a while since I've played the Earth Day celebration, so I'm really happy to celebrate Earth Day this year and teach my kids about Earth Day and plant some trees with them because they're the future. So, and they love nature. They were playing in the mud today, so they love nature. We have nature all over our house today. The last song I'm gonna do is called I Need to Believe, and this is new. This tiny box is not my world. I was born to shine and twirl. I fight my demons one by one, hold on for dear life until the sun. I still stop to watch the sky, won't let my dreams pass me by. I put my heart up on the shelf. How can I love you when I don't love myself? Ooh, ooh, ooh. There are times when I've invaded all the awful things we do in pain. I'm only human, I got flaws. You dug in deep with vicious claws. I dove in and waited almost too long to come up for air. I played the victim too many times that it's not fair. I need to believe in something bigger than me. And I need to believe in me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. My cards are on the table, my heart's safe on the shelf. So help me learn to love, learn unspoken war. I'm done keeping score. I'm finally out of my head. Patient for things that I said. I need to believe something bigger than me. And I need to believe in me. Ooh. Ooh. This tiny box is not my world. I was never just someone's girl. You should be down, you had your fun, but I have dreams beyond the sun. And I need to believe in something bigger than me. And I need to believe in me. Ooh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, and happy Earth
Thank
Day.
you. You know, and I should ask all musicians if you have something you want to plug, like a CD, or when the weather gets, when the climate for being out gets better, if you have any bookings that we should look ahead to.
Yeah, I keep you can visit LisaLawrenceRocks.com. That's my website, and that has like links to everything Spotify, and then I'm on Facebook, Lisa Lawrence Usanis, and I'll be putting up all my garden stuff really soon too. So yeah, but Lisa Lawrence Rocks is where it's at with stuff. Thank you.
All right, we'll wait for the second coming of people getting together.
Yes, I know. I can't wait.
Thanks. Yeah, the next time we do this, we're gonna do it at a venue like we were gonna do at Starlight, and we'll, look forward to that. So thanks.
That's so awesome. Thank you. Happy Earth Day.
You too.
Thank you.
Carlos Odria is with us. Carlos is a performer scholar currently teaching as visiting professor of music at Worcester State University. He's been featured artist at the Florida Folk Festival and has performed at multiple music festivals, concert halls, academic performances in more than 15 universities in the U.S. and in his native Peru. He's been described as a breathtakingly talented musician, an immense technical skill, Worcester Telegram, and as a guitar wizard, Gamble Rogers Festival. In 2014, the debut album of Omni Musica, a band in which he participated as lead guitarist, was included in the official ballot for the 57th Grammy Awards in the World Music category. His trio album, El Rio 2019, has been praised as gorgeous, stunningly, jaw-droppingly, trying not to weep at work, beautiful, according to the Worcester Telegram, a newspaper we all know and love, and he just gigs all over the place. So we're happy and honored to have him here. I wish the circumstances were such that, he said yes before this was a virtual event. So it's not like it was an easy get, and I really, really appreciate it. So welcome, Carlos, and what do you got, man?
Thank you very much for having me, and thanks for organizing the event and keep going even in these circumstances. I think it's a wonderful initiative. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I will play some guitar for you. So I've been thinking about playing a few of my compositions for the guitar. Some of these compositions were initially made to be played in, with my band, with a trio, but then I arranged them to play them for solo guitar. I'm going to start with a very famous bossa nova tune composed by the great Tom Jobim, a Brazilian composer, and this is called Quiet Nights, Quiet Stars. Is the audio okay?
Yeah, it seems you're amplified, obviously, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's I don't know if Hannah's in master control.
You could turn it down a little bit.
Okay. Better now?
It sounds good. People are going to turn down their volume a little bit, I think.
Okay.
That's on us. That was hot. Your level's a little hot too.
Oh, okay.
That ending was amazing. I actually got because of the level, I actually got better sound out of my crummy computer speaker than I did out of my plugged-in ones. But if you cut the amp back a bit this time, I think we'll be well.
Actually, I'm gonna try something smoother this time. This is a one of my pieces. It's called Song for Alma. Alma is my oldest daughter. She's 9 right now, but I composed this song when she was a little baby because she got a lot of problems going to sleep. So I composed this kind of lullaby for her, and it's called Song for Alma.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Now, on the spoken mic, it's fine. It seems that it might be picking up certain tones that it's getting a little fuzzy on, but can't say. It's still a little bit. So it might be the mic.
So
Is that a built-in?
I'm using, let's see. What about now? Is it the same?
Well, others can weigh in because we all have different, speakers. I guess I would throw it to the comment board if anybody wants to weigh in on that, because what one computer does is not the same as another.
All right. Should I keep going?
It sounds fuzzy, I think, for everyone, but I'm not sure that we are going to be able to get to an answer. The music is still beautiful.
It's better than it was at the beginning. It sounds like the guitar. Somebody's saying, "Hold on."
Someone says, "Turn off." Can you try to turn off the amp?
Somebody says, "I would try." Matt says, "I would try it without the amp." Jared says, "What if it was just acoustic in the?" I gotta get my volume control in the room. And those are fellow musicians, and so. And Jared says it sounds like the guitar is clipping.
Oh. Okay, I guess I'll keep trying. I just turned down the volume. This guitar has to be connected because it's a electroacoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't have any sound. So I'll keep trying. If it doesn't work for this one.
Yeah, we're going to do it because it's great stuff and everybody kind of knows that.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, let me try this one. This is another song that I wrote a couple of years ago. It's called Montuno Negro, and it's inspired on different types of Afro-Caribbean rhythms that I have studied in the last years. I love Afro-Caribbean music. It's music that is filled with joy, energy, and I also love the dance aspect of this music. So I try to incorporate different elements from these traditions into this song, trying to recombine them and to be able to express different kinds of emotions through this music. So I hope you enjoy it. Montuno Negro.
Mucho, mucho mejor.
Ah, qué bueno.
Yeah, I mean, the playing was always there, and that was a great piece. And we were getting comments on the right that indicate that some of these little heads or some blacked out people that are on this thing are going to be seeing you when you show up in the flesh when we get done with all this pandemic. Did you have something more for us? Because I know we took up some time with tech, but you also, I want you to play what you wanted to play if you have time.
Yeah, I can play another piece if you want. Like 5 more minutes?
Seguro.
Okay. So another piece of mine called La Nana. It's a happy song. Also inspired on rhythm, dance, joy, and love.
I was going woo, but I wanted to keep myself muted when I did that because I didn't want anybody else to get jealous of my ability to be heard. But Matt Soper's got a great icon up there. And
Awesome.
yeah, so thank you. That was great.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, are you kidding? Carlos Odria Music is the website, right?
Yes.
And you know, the calendar will be popping, so you can catch him around within 15 miles of where most of us live without a lot of problem. And so good. I'll talk to you about my planned trip to Peru, and you can give me some pointers.
Awesome.
And you know, off camera, obviously. So thank you.
All right. Be well, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're hearing bravos and exclamation points from everybody. So cool. Thanks again. All right.
Bye. Take care, guys.
We're gonna move and thank you to the musicians to follow for the tech-induced delay and being patient with that. So Pope Marcus is the stage name for Dr. Mark Wagner, a longtime educator and musician and poet. He currently has a small farm and honeybees. Well, we had a honeybee person earlier too. In the hope that we will all survive together. And it's wonderful to see you, Pope Marcus. And you know, anything again that anybody wants to promote that they're going to be doing. Oh, I have to mention your Tiny Desk, right?
Yeah, Tiny Desk.
On the NPR website, the national website, they have these Tiny Desk submissions. And Mark, and you were in a duo, right, with another musician. Who was that?
Chris Barry.
Yeah, and that was on Tiny Desk, and you can see it on npr.org.
Yeah, the song is Try to Say What You Are. That's out on Spotify as well. Chris and I are releasing some songs over the next month or so. I'm putting out a disc. The one song, the single, if you will, is out there called Try to Say What You Are. And yeah, thank you for putting this together, Bob and everybody. I've been tuning in and out, really great stuff. I love the tree planting. That was terrific stuff. And Carlos, oh my God. I was hoping I went before Carlos, but
my theory was that people were going to stick around.
Yeah. So does this sound okay? You can hear that?
Nicely acoustic.
So I'm gonna do a song called "Every Note of Your Soul." Every note of your soul. know if there's a time for warring. I don't know if there's a time for hating. I don't know. I only know with the blues, you got to play your soul. Every note of your soul. You got to play like a mo. If there's a time for building, I don't know. If you think it's worth it, then gather stones. If it's time for reaping, then I don't know. I only know with the blue, you got to play your soul. Every note of your soul. You got to play like a mo. All the blues folks, you know they say the same thing. When it comes to the truth, you know there ain't no faking. You got to take it all off and shake your soul free. Ask anyone, you don't have to take it from me. What do I know? I know the blue. Every note of your soul is the blue. Got to play every note of your soul. If there's a time for killing, I don't know. If there's a time for healing, I don't know. If there's a time for tearing down, I don't know. I only know with the blue, you got to play your soul. Every note of your soul, you got to play like Kevmo. Every note of your soul. Every note of your soul. Every note of your soul. All right, thank you. I'm going to play two more songs. One, this is going to be on the disc that Chris and I are releasing soon. We're going to release this disc over the next month or so, and hopefully scare up some gigs. This song, I'd like to interject a note of anti-war talk into this Earth Day celebration. You know, there's a group out there called A Year Without War, and you can find them around. And then the UN recently adopted that idea of a year without war and called for a global truce. So in my small way, I've been contacting everyone, like Representative McGovern and Joe Kennedy, and trying to get to the Biden people to say, embrace the global truce. Why not? I mean, it's related to climate change, the pandemic, everything. I mean, this insanity of the trillions and trillions of dollars, not only going to fossil fuel stuff, but to the war industry. Let's embrace the global truce. So I got this song called Pieces of a Man. It's kind of a soldier story type song. It goes like this. Nothing to say, my
my lips are sealed. No prayers to pray, no bombs to heal. Blood and glory, I carried that water. I was nothing but heifer to the slaughter. They said, here's a piece, you're a man. Here's a piece, you're a man now. Here's the pieces of a man. Here's the pieces of a man. Your mother, there's no use in lying. I saw the best of our nation die. Oh, wonderful world, blue sky, roses. Unless you're a grunt whose youth's been stolen. They said, here's a piece, you're a man. They said, here's a piece, you're a man. Now, here's the pieces of a man. Singing about peace for the man. Some stories can't be told. Some brothers don't make it home. Some wander eternity long. Some cuts too close to the bone. Too close to the bone. Walking line, resting time. Resting time and time's out of mind. Time's out of mind and 6 is 9. Sure way to turn a pearl to swine. They said, here's a piece, you're a man. Here's a piece, you're a man. Now, here's the pieces of a man. Singing about peace for the man. Some stories can't be told. Some brothers don't make it home. Some wander eternity long. Some cuts too close to the bone. 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 Too close to the bone.
Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, really pushing that idea of the global truths. I mean, like everyone's talking about how the pandemic is making us think about things in a different way. You know, Bernie Sanders was talking about climate change and stopping the war industry. One of the reasons why I like Bernie a lot. You know, we got to try and get to the Biden people, and leadership is needed at this time. I mean, that's the question I have, and the discussion I'm having with a lot of my friends is, where's that leadership going to come from? You know, we got to just put a stop to the slaughter and the chemicals and the waste of the, you know, it's all related to climate change and saving the earth as well. So anyway, I thought I'd do one more song. On a positive note, you know, one of my favorite artists is Kate Bush, the great Irish singer. And going back a ways, she did a song that's kind of like a touchstone for me. And Bob, thank you for the invitation for today. You know, I like to learn something new for these types of gigs. And so I learned how to play the song Cloud Busting by Kate Bush. If you remember, cloud busting references Wilhelm Reich. Wilhelm Reich was a kind of a second generation Freudian. He believed he had made a machine that collected orgone, the erotic energy, And he actually died in a penitentiary in Pennsylvania. The FBI came for him eventually. But the orgone collector never got off the ground. But he also invented a cloud busting machine, which was this pipe system that he tied to the energy of streams. So that he thought there was an energy in streams, in the running water of streams. And he created this system by which he could run a cable from streams and water to his cloud busting pipes. And so Kate Bush wrote the song Cloud Busting, referencing Reich and that stuff. So it goes like this.
I still dream of organ. I wake up crying. You're making rain, and you just in reach. When you in sleep escape me, you're like my yo-yo that glowed in the dark. Made it special, made it dangerous, so I bury it and forget. But every time it rains, you're here in my head, like the sun coming out. Oh, I just know that something good is gonna happen. I don't know when, but just saying it could even make it happen. Oh, just saying it could even make it happen. Oh. On top of the world, looking over the edge, you could see them coming. They look too small in their big black cars to be a threat to the men in power. I hid my yo-yo in the garden. I can't hide you from the government. Oh God, Daddy, I won't forget. 'Cause every time it rains, you're here in my head, like the sun coming out. Oh, I just know that something good is gonna happen. I don't know when, but just saying it could even make it happen. Oh, just saying it could even make it happen. Cloud busting daddy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm cloud busting daddy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. The sun's coming out. The sun's coming out. The sun's coming out.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy Earth Day. Thank you to everybody who put this together. And again, yeah, as a plug, I am putting out a disc over the next month or so that I'm really happy with. And yeah, hopefully be gigging around, and I'll get in touch. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, let me know. Thanks. So we have Matt Soper, and he's coming up for us. He's a singer-songwriter from the Worcester area and has been playing throughout New England for 15 years. And Matt is the creator of the series Songwriter's Mind, previously mentioned, which meets at Starlight. Features some of the best songwriters in New England. And you're hearing some of the Songwriter's Mind folks tonight, Matt and others. So, Matt, are you on? I read the intro. Yes, he is.
Hello. I'm here. Just I thought Jared was next, so give me like 1 minute.
Oh, you're probably right, because Jared's filling in that hole, and I have to read Jared's intro off a text because he's a late addition. I'm sorry, my mistake. Are you good, Matt, or do you want to go after?
If Jared's ready, definitely
right,
put him up.
All right, so here I have a sequence of texts.
I can do it.
To get this right. I mean, I could wing it because I've seen Jared and a lot of people around here have, but I'm not going to do that. Let me get the old phone out, get to the right person. Good old 508. Okay. Jared Fisk is a performing musician and private music instructor from Central Massachusetts. He's been performing and teaching music professionally for 20 plus years. In addition to his solo performances, he performs in a band called The Casters. You can catch Jared performing at bars and coffee houses throughout Massachusetts, 200 plus shows a year.
Not this year, though.
No. When he's not playing out, he records and produces other artists at his home studio, Foundation Studios in Ware, Massachusetts. You can find Fisk's debut solo record, Turning Back the Pages, as well as the Casters' debut, Shave Your Soul, on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and CD, baby. Did I get it all?
I think so.
Okay, that's the last of the series of the text storm that we had to do. So, go, man. Let's.
Do I have a virtual background turn on or something right now?
If you have a background that looks like a studio, the answer is yes.
Hang on. Nope. I think I had a weird sort of green screeny thing on. I was messing around in the settings. Probably shouldn't have done. Thank you, Bob, for that warm welcome. And thanks for inviting me to be a part of this today.
Thanks for stepping. I just have to say that it's symbolic of the pandemic that when a player breaks a guitar string, he's out because he can't go to the store and get another one. So thanks for stepping in.
You bet. And thanks to Julie. Julie actually came over to our house the other day to deliver some saplings, which we planted. So getting the Earth Day vibe started. And although actually, I guess we have to move them because we put up on Facebook that we'd planted them, and our friend was like, "Ooh, those trees get big. I think those are too close to your driveway." So we're going to be moving them. But anyways, I'm going to play a few tunes for you guys. I'm going to start off with this one written by Dave Rawlings and Ketch Sakur. I don't know how to say his name. It's called I Hear Them All. Oh, before I start, everything sound okay?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. I hear the crying of the hungry in the deserts where they're wandering, crying out for heaven's own benevolence upon them. The destructive power prevailing, fools fast ahead, and crooked ways for tyrants when they call. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear the sound of tearing pages, the roar of burning paper, all the crimes and acquisitions turn to air and ash and vapor. Rattle of the shackle beyond emancipator. Loneliest gather in their stars. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. So while you're sitting with some Dixie, with your money and your power, I can hear the flowers growing in the rubble of the tower. I hear leaders quit their lying, your babies quit their crying, now your soldiers quit their dying, one and all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. Hear the tender words from Zion, I hear Noah's waterfall. See the gentle Lamb of Judah sleeping at the feet of Buddha, and the prophets from Elijah to the old Paiute Wovaka, to the places there at the table when they're called. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. So I know that tune from a Dave Rawlings record, but I know a lot of people know it from Old Crow Medicine Show, but it's just one of these great unifying, beautiful songs I thought would be appropriate. I should be playing some originals tonight, but I'm just going to be playing covers, I guess. This is a Jackson Browne tune called These Days, and I thought it's not so much an Earth Day-ish song, but it is sort of a quiet, by yourself, reflecting kind of a song, and I think we've all been doing our fair share of that, so this is These Days. Well, I've been out walking. I don't do that much talking these days. These days. These days I seem to think a lot about the things that I forgot to do for you. And all the times I had the chance to. And I had a lover. It's so hard to risk another these days. These days. These days I sit on cornerstones and count the time in quarter tones to 10. My friend, don't confront me with my failures. I had not forgotten them. I'd not forgotten them. Yeah, Jackson Browne there. Thanks, guys. Thanks. So yeah, I'll do one more tune for you guys. It's funny, I can sing all day and then I go to like say a sentence and immediately. So I know we can't all hear each other right now, and it wouldn't work to. Thanks, Karen. Anyways, because the delay and all that. But I think that we can all still sing along even if we can't hear each other. So I invite you all to whatever lines you know of this next song. It's a Beatles song, and yeah, go ahead and sing. So where's Aura? Because you're not even in the same time zone. I'm just curious.
Blackbird sing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. And all your life, you're only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. And all your life, you're only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of a dark black oh, blackbird fly. Yeah, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black blackbird singing in the dead of night. Well, won't you take these broken wings and learn to fly in all your life? You're only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You're only waiting for this moment to arrive.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun, and I'm game for anything that has to do with taking care of the planet. So thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you. And I'd say game for anything describes your musical spectrum as well. Thanks.
Thanks.
So that Matt Soper that I introduced before, this is a different one. This one here is the Songwriter's Mind creator and featuring some of the best songwriters in New England, and has been playing throughout the region for 15 years. And so it sounds familiar, but Matt, thank you. And I'm sorry about the screw up, but we're doing it all on the fly.
No problem. Can you hear me?
I can.
Good. All right, cool. Thanks for having me. I'm going to kick it off with an original called Jamie.
She's thinking about Providence. I've been thinking about sleep. She thinks that she'll be thinking about something more than consequence. Think I might stay. Maybe if we moved along, we could get rid of some of this weight. There's something always in between. Hey, there's always room for choose to want some distance. You're all down me. Just me. Got better things to see. Why wait? Spent all the 4 years. Just set your start on me. I've been really trying to put things over. But every time I try to, my back's to the wall, my head's always over my shoulder. You are telling me, just me, got better things to see. Why wait? Spend all the 4 years, set your start on me. Don't worry about me.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Hopefully the sound's all right.
Oh, it sounds great. You're getting woos and claps, so something must be going well.
What's that?
You're getting woos and claps, so something must be going well.
Thanks, guys. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the day today. It was a beautiful day. In between a lot of rain and cold we've been having lately. And we're going to have a lot of in the near future. So hopefully everybody get outside and celebrated the earth and the nice weather. I did. It was nice. thank you. What's an original called? Messing Around. I'm gonna do one more since we're running a little late. We want to get to Gracie Day for sure. So I end a lot of sets with this song, just a feel-good song, and I think we all can use a lot of Bob Marley in our lives these days. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, Bob, for organizing this and spreading a great message.
Nope.
And,
well, how's that look?
It froze?
No, that's a screenshot. I should have, if I had nothing else to do, I would have been taking them all night long. But man, you were perfectly framed, and I thought it brought out the power of what you were doing.
I don't know. I unmuted myself.
So yeah, excellent.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh man, our pleasure. It sounded like a whole bunch of wailers over there, so all in one guitar.
Awesome. All right, stay tuned for Gracie Day.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Happy Earth Day. Gracie Day, welcome.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
And you shrunk or?
Yes.
Hey,
Honey, this is
all right.
our little munchkin.
I'm Joel. This is Olive.
Olive, hi.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Happy Earth Day.
Well, this is great, and that's another screenshot waiting to happen. Well, now it's not. Okay.
She'll be back.
Somebody grab a screenshot and post it, okay? Because I'm busy with these other buttons and screwing up things. So Gracie jumped right on this, and I really appreciate it. And we introduced her as a singer-songwriter. She performs with bassist and writer Joel Rhines. Boy, that looks like a musical house from what I'm seeing all over the place there. They released their latest album, The Nashville Sessions, last year. It was labeled one of Worcester Mag's favorite albums of 2019. They have a new band called the Phantom Limbs, consisting of Sean Farrell on lead guitar and Aaron Martin on drums, working on their first full-length album. And you can learn more on Gracie Day's website, www.graciedaymusic.com. And if you feel like donating, the Venmo is at Gracie Day Music, and it's IE, just in case you're less literate than but I had to learn it. Okay, thanks.
Right on.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you. That was a good introduction. Thanks.
We don't have too many Earth theme songs, but I think this is a really good song for what's going on right now, and kind of some ignorance in the world for care of other people in the world. Okay, so here we go.
2, 3, 4.
Everybody's talking, but no one says a word. Everybody's making up, but no one really cares. There's Nazis in the bathroom, just below the stairs. There's always something happening and nothing going on. There's always something coming, but nothing in the plan. They're starting back in China, so finish what you got. Nobody told me that you taste like this. Nobody told me that you taste like this. Nobody told me that you taste like this. Strange days of tea. Strange days of tea. Everybody's running, and no one makes a move. Everyone's a winner, and no one seems to lose. It's the yellow eye, it's what you can do. Everybody's fighting, and no one needs the ground. Everybody's crying, no one needs the sound. There's a place for us to lose, you just can't stay around. Nobody told me that we taste like this. Nobody told me that we taste like this. Nobody told me that we taste like this. Strange days of tea. Strange days. Everybody's smoking, no one's getting high. Everybody's flying, never touch the sky. There's UFOs over New York, and I ain't too surprised. Nobody told me that we taste like this. Nobody told me that we taste like this. Nobody told me that we taste like this. Strange days of tea. Most peculiar, mama.
Thanks for hanging out, Olive.
All right, we're gonna do an original of mine called "I Don't Want Whiskey." As I drive from your home, yellow dashes on the road blend to a line. So then I slow. I know damn well where you are. I can't ride like I can't touch a star. But I'm tempted by that bar where we used to go. I don't want whiskey, I don't want wine, I don't want to be alone tonight. I don't want rum, I don't want cheese, don't want to lose, but I can't win. For me, anything that'll last. What I want don't come in fast. Just want you here with me. Don't whiskey. I've been taking a long way home, singing songs we both know. As the summer turns to fall, is there a chance I will change? Or should I wish on a star? Or should I just sit at this bar where we used to go? I don't want whiskey, I don't want wine, I don't want to be alone tonight. I don't want rum, I don't want gin, don't want to lose, but I can't win. For me, everything that lasts. What I want don't come in fast. Just want you with me. I don't want whiskey. On a road that I can't see, exits I can't grip the wheel. I try not to steer to you, but I park at the liquor store, get a bottle of Jack, and I pack the corks, smash the pieces that you took. 'Cause I don't want whiskey, I don't want wine, I don't want to be alone tonight. I don't want rum, I don't want gin, don't want to lose, but I can't wait. For me, anything that lasts. What I want don't come fast. Just want you here with me. I don't want whiskey. I don't want whiskey. Oh, I don't want whiskey. Whoa. So thanks for tuning in and celebrating Earth Day with us. This has been organized by Grassroots Central Mass, and you can learn more about them on the website grassrootscentralmass.com. Great organization, does a lot, And we're gonna do a happy song now that we did a sad song.
Which one's this?
This is just a pure love song. You can sing it to the earth if you want. It's called You Get Me. Here I am in your eyes, feeling those butterflies. It may be early, but I can tell. No one knows me better. Streets are so high, you get me right. You get me so high. Get me acting all kinds of shy. You kill me like ooh. You kill me so well. My words are harder than you. You kill me. Oh. Yellow, your eyes, your lips, struggles and dance. When near me, I hear the sounds of our hearts dancing round and round. Oh, we are like dead. No one knows me better. My streets is so heavy, you get me like ooh. You get me so high, like all kinds of shy. You kill me like ooh. You kill me so well. My words so hard. You kill me. Oh, you kill me. It's kinda crazy, feel this way. I never believed it was so. But I'm not lying, I just can't find it to the world. Unless you get me right. Ooh, you get me so high. You get me acting kind of shy. You get me like ooh. You get me so well. I'm worked up. How did I you? You get me so high. Like all kinds of shy. You get me like ooh. You get me so well. I worked so hard looking at you. Oh, you get me.
Nice.
Awesome.
How'd that sound, Olive? Nice.
It sounded great from here too.
Oh,
You
nice.
guys-
So we
Got one more. Thanks for tuning in.
we got time for one more?
Yes, Hannah says yes. She's my daughter. She controls it all.
Right.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. much for organizing this. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And Julie, thanks for inviting us and bringing awareness to us.
Give it up for Matt Sober, who was last, and next we have Stone Temple Pilots cover band. I love that band.
Sweet.
So it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
So, all right. Thanks for listening. This is called Come a Little Closer.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
It's like it's just you and me together. See, baby, it's funny how things work out. You see, I didn't think about I sometimes all over my mess. The mention of this little chest. Come a little closer, I wanna get to know you. For yourself another side, strap off my shoulder. Take it for me out. I wanna taste your heart. Skin has gone on too long. I can only be so strong. So pour your soul and tears. Oh, how you've been wanting me. Every time you're all in your mind, wanna let you have this little chest. Come a little closer, I wanna kiss you. For yourself another side, strap off my shoulder. Take me in, pour me out. I wanna taste your love. Don't hesitate. I can't wait another day. Just give it to me, baby. Oh, stop off my shoulder, take me in, pour me out. I wanna taste your love right now. Oh, I wanna taste your love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great capper, and that's the way Dimitri envisioned it, and I think he envisioned well.
Nice.
I just have to say that anybody who's going to make a video in their living room of music and wants to grab screenshots from it, understand that a bass will cause a certain amount of vibration in the pixels. So I didn't take the screenshot with Olive because you were being what you are, which is bass player, and thank heavens for the rhythm section. And in your case, more than a rhythm section. So
That's not pixels, it's digital.
Mix.
So thank you guys, and I just put up a post on the chat for everybody to look at, trying to remember everybody on the committee that put it together because my brain is shot after 4 hours. But want to tell the musicians, if he's still around, based on the definition of the Grassroots Central Mass that Jeannie put out before, we are a clearinghouse, which means if there's some kind of cause or thing that you guys, any of you or anybody wants to say, you know what, I'd like to do something about this, and you need some, you know, it's a cause that we're in line with, which I think you can glean from our website, and it's easy enough to grab the values. You know, I think we're open, because I love this concert thing. I've done a few of these when I was like, you know, in my 20s, and then I took about 4 decades off. So, you know, music and culture is a great way to fuse consciousness of other issues. So thank you all. Thank you. And Dimitri, I got to tell you, he took about no time to say, yes, you can have my venue absolutely free. And of course, that venue thing melted away, and then he pitched in and he put together a ton of this stuff. And everybody in the chat that can see my chat, and can get all the names of everybody, some of whom you've seen. Thank you guys all very much. Thank you, Hannah, my daughter, for volunteering to engineer, basically, and keep the tech happening. And I guess we can all go relax on more comfortable chairs. So thanks, and good night, everybody.